Hi, happy Friday. Happy early weekend. I hope you had a beautiful weekend. I hope you are enjoying this very sunny week that we've been having. uh, at least today. This week has been very gloomy and rainy. But I do hope that you are well, and I hope that you are doing fine and all is well. Um, so this past week, it was really nice to be able to just rest and relax at home. Um, I was so happy to see my family uh, during my cousin's wedding. Um, and what's interesting is like weeks before the wedding, they were telling me, they're like, I know you, I know you're gonna get emotional, so you don't need to cry. Do not cry, because I'm pretty much a crybaby, and everybody knows that. So, but what's interesting is I was doing fine all throughout the wedding until he Abel and his wife gave a speech uh, at the end of the wedding, and I just couldn't stop crying. The tears were just falling. Um, and everybody was like, I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna cry. But I get emotional because those who are no longer with us, they came into my mind, and just all of these memories from childhood. So he also got emotional. He couldn't even finish his speech. But nevertheless, it was a very beautiful wedding, and I'm just so proud of him and all that he's accomplished despite everything that he experienced and that he went through. And I just thank God that he was able to guide him throughout his journey and continue to guide him throughout his path and his future, um, as well. So, but today, I just wanted to briefly discuss a very important topic that had came into my mind this week, pretty much on Wednesday. Um, I remember discussing the topic on how purity is possible, but today I wanted to highlight and focus on how being pure in the heart. And I think it's very important because those who are pure in their hearts are impactful. So, what does it mean to be pure in heart? Being pure in heart to me, or in my eyes, means that you are just fully committed. And it's not just being fully committed, but you're committed every day, in every area, every hour, every surrounding, and in any and every environment. It's really about making quality decisions. This world that we live in, it will always throw a lot of negative and toxic energy. But when you're pure in heart, you're aware and you're never tempted to fall for them. You never live in guilt, but in peace. So, why is it important to have a pure heart? Because the condition of your heart depends on the things that you allow into your heart. This is what forms our thoughts, our attitudes, and can really even shape who we are. And if you don't treat or heal your heart, life and how you interact in it can be challenging, and it can also be difficult to deal with. The most important organ in the human body is the heart. If it's contaminated or if it's not working properly, it affects literally the quality of your life. And without it, human survival is nearly impossible. And that's why it's important. When you are pure in your heart, you'll start to notice and live naturally through these ways. You become connected with God, and your connection with God is not just a connection, but it's just so authentic and real. When you're pure, you can quickly hear and feel God. You also find clarity in every area that God is guiding you. And it's not just following the path that God is guiding you, but you understand why He's guiding you toward that direction. You become a lot more aware of who you are as an individual and the path that you're taking. You'll also find clarity um, in so many different areas, because every move that you make and each path that you take, you'll be able to see the clear depth of it. Your mind becomes purified. Having a pure heart means that you're going to have a pure mind. When your inside world, which is your mind and your heart, when that is right, then you'll naturally see purity in your outside world. The mind is really one of the most difficult areas to maintain and to sustain, because it has a lot to do with our surrounding and the world that we live in. And as we know, our world isn't pure. Having a pure mindset doesn't just happen, but it's something that you have to want and willing to do and stay consistent with. I think a lot of people just assume that they don't have a choice when it comes to their thoughts, but you 100% do. Your motives become pure. Motives really has nothing to do with what you're doing, but it has everything to do with what or why you're doing what you're doing. That's why we see so many artists, politicians, even pastors who really have no business doing what they're doing, because what they do, it's really for all the wrong reasons, or it's really not for all the right reasons. So you have to really think about where your motives are and why you do what you're doing. When you're pure in heart, you naturally want to do what's in your heart's desire. And you're always going to be aligned to the right principles and things. you carry moral purity. We need to realize that morally, things are, or at least they seem to be, getting worse by the minute in this world. But when you are pure in heart, you understand and know never to conform to society's ways. And it's not just never conforming to it, but you realize it head on, and you're like, and you react to it like, no, I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to go towards that path no matter what. um, I always thank God that I was able to discern good and bad behaviors and environments at a pretty early age in life. I remember, after high school, a lot of my friends that I grew up with, all they wanted to do was just experience life and go out, which is understandable, but at the same time, it's not for everybody either. Um, I can count in one hand, literally twice in my life, that I've been to a club. And the only reason why I went to the club those two times in my lifetime was because my best friend had an event and a family member had an event for their birthday. And that was the only reason why. And the interesting thing is, I left early, very early, both times. So, but what was I made fun of? Or was I looked at like something was wrong with me? Yes. But it was okay, because when you're really authentic, your outlook, the way you carry yourself, your communication, and the choices that you make, your surroundings, your environment, every area in your life is equally the same. And that's why I always stress, and I can't stress it enough, that your personal, your romantic, your social, your professional life, all of that should match. It cannot be different. And no matter what century that you live in or generation that you come from, when you're pure, your morals are the same throughout time. You become aware of your surroundings. You don't look at things negatively. Your ears don't listen to gossip or pay attention to gossip. And then you realize that it's okay to say, let's discuss something or talk about something more positive or productive, because even if you don't want to pay attention to gossip and someone tells you something about somebody else, it's hard to get that off your mind. And you can even begin to start to look at that person differently, even without realizing it. It's okay to make mistakes. Having a pure heart doesn't mean you're perfect. It means that you are aligned with the principles that God has designed, and really pretty much with all the right principles. If you make a mistake, you should never feel guilty. And you have to understand that it's okay to make mistakes, because deep down, you know and want what's right. Pay attention to your heart. Be aware and pay attention to what is in your heart. Make sure that all that you do and all that you say really matches what's inside your heart. And if it's not pure, you have to understand that there are things that you're going to have to go through to really be able to purify and cleanse your heart. And last but not least is to be pure in heart. Being pure in heart means that you live differently. And it really means that you can't do what everyone else in this world is doing. And it doesn't mean that you're not enjoying life or the things that life has to offer. But you know to be careful and never to compromise or go against what you know is right. When you are pure in the heart, you will always and naturally carry out the best. If we have a pure heart, we're guided and hear God so clearly. You can visually see His plan for you through clarity. Examine your hearts, your attitudes, your thoughts, your behaviors, and see if there's anything wrong with it, or if there's any area that you believe or you notice that you can improve on. Ask yourself, is your heart tender or is it tough? Some women, especially on social media, are so focused on their body, eyelashes, wigs, showing every flesh on their body. And I always wonder if they would put so much effort getting ready on the inside as they do on the outside, the difference that it would probably make in their life. And so I encourage you to focus on your heart. Study it. Look deep into purity. Develop discipline, awareness, self-control. Keep your commitments. Keep your word. And always do what you know is right. And every time you think you're doing the wrong thing, it's very simple to do the right. And align with into what's in your heart. And I hope you have a beautiful and warm weekend ahead. It's supposed to be pretty warm, little gloomy, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoy this beautiful weekend and week ahead.